Darlene, you want to unmute yourself? Put this up on the podium, and we'll just go through that, okay? Yeah, yeah. And then just, yes, yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, that sounds good. All right, sounds good. Okay.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please stand to salute the nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Sorry. Okay, just so it's not echoing. In attendance this evening are Supervisors Fisher. That's still echoing. It's going to drive me crazy. I feel like I can. Is there anything else? Is there a way to mute it so we can't hear? Maybe take it off speakerphone unless we need her to vote. Yeah. In attendance this evening are Supervisors Fisher, Aguizio, Fleer, Barney, and Cassiola, as well as Gretchen Moore, Dan Dizeroth, Don Januso. We're going to start this evening with our reorganization meeting. The first on the list will be chairman. Do I have a motion for chairman? You have to talk into your microphone.
Motion for Cindy to be the chairman.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Jack, can you vote like proxy for her? Can you like listen to what she's saying? Because I can't hear what she's saying. Sorry to be a pain. Thank you. Can you just ask her what she said about chairman? Number 5, vice chair. I make a motion for Frank Aguizio. Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. This is not going to work. What about chair? She said yes. Okay. Thank you, Jack. Number 6, secretary treasurer. I make a motion for Don Januso.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Can we just keep voting unless there's a tie and you'll keep track of what she's saying yes to and then we'll go back? I hate to do it that way, but it's going to take. Yeah, it's going to take forever if we keep having to wait. Sorry. Number 7, depository. I make a motion for Washington Financial McMurray, Slovenian Savings and Loan in North Shore-Bain, and Pliggett in Harrisburg.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Sewage enforcement officer. I make a motion for Washington County Sanitation Council.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Animal control officer, Kim Secrete.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Emergency management coordinator. I make a motion for Noel McMullen.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Solicitor. I make a motion for Strausberger, McKenna, Gutnick, and Gefsky, Gretchen Moore.
I'll make a motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. You're welcome. For our township engineer, I make a motion for Dan Dizeroth of the Gateway Engineers. Is there
I'll
a
second that.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
Welcome. Number 13, zoning officer. I make a motion for Elizabeth Ross.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Zoning hearing board members meeting money. Sorry, that's a mouthful. $100 per person per meeting. That's my motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Number 15, 1/2023 real estate tax collector. I make a motion for Nancy Linnert.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2/2023 earned income tax collector. I make a motion for Keystone Tax Service.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 3, 2023, LST tax collector. I make a motion for Keystone Tax Service.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 4, 2023, delinquent LST and delinquent EIT tax collector. I make a motion for Keystone Tax Service.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
19, Resolution 5, 2023, Realty Transfer Tax Collector. I make a motion for Carrie Perrell.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Number 20 should actually read at the end, 2023, so it's going to say, Resolution 6, 2023, set the Realty Tax Collector bond at 30% of the tax duplicate for 2023.
Make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 7, 2023, Municipal Authority Member. It's a vacancy of a 5-year term to expire on January 1st, 2028. I make a motion for Craig Roach.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 8, 2023, Zoning Hearing Board Members. It's a vacancy of a 3-year term to expire on January 1st, 2026. I make a motion for James Jones.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 9, 2023, Parks and Recreation Board Members. There's 2 vacancies. I'll do them individually. The first vacancy is a 5-year term to expire on January 1st, 2028. I make a motion for Barb Russman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The second is a vacancy of a 5-year term to expire on January 1st, 2028. I make a motion for Wendy Johnson.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 10, 2023, Planning Commission, 3 vacancies. I'll do these individually as well. The first vacancy is a 4-year term to expire on January 1st, 2027. I make a motion for Dave Cauldron.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's, the second vacancy is a vacancy of a 4-year term to expire January 1st, 2027. I make a motion for Christy Budovich.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So this one's a little tricky. So we actually didn't have someone for this last vacancy. It's a 4-year term, but we received an application yesterday. It goes against our policy that requires 3-day notice, but seeing as we didn't have anybody to fill the position, did everybody get a copy of the application? It was in your email. Do you want time to review it, or do you want to move forward
Who
with
is
it?
it?
Troy Gump.
I'll just abstain. I mean, I don't know
I'm
nothing
sorry?
about him.
I looked at it too. Frank, you're good? Okay, so if you're okay with it, we're going to move forward. I'll make a motion for the vacancy of a 4-year term to expire January 1st, 2027, to appoint Troy Gump. He's with KLH Engineers.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Resolution 11, 2023, Certified Public Accounting Firm. I make a motion for Hozak Spec Mutual and Wood for a 3-year term, a 3-year contract. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 26, we actually don't have anybody. It's Resolution 12, 2023, Representative to the Frank Saris Public Library. It's a vacancy of a 3-year term to expire on December 31st, 2025. If anybody is interested in that, we will continue to take applications through the next year. Andrea Raymer, unfortunately, who's been our wonderful representative for years, can no longer hold that position.
Excuse me, 1 second. I just want to make one point of clarification. On all those, what you saw vacancies, they weren't actually, most of them, 5 out of 6 weren't actually vacancies. It was just the term expired and somebody on the board wanted to be reappointed. So technically, they weren't vacancies, they were just reappointments. I just want to make it clear that we didn't have 6 vacancies on our
Correct.
agenda.
Correct. So we do not have anybody. So if anybody's interested in the library board representative, please send us your information because we still need somebody to fill that position. You want to talk to Andrea, wave your hand in the air. you want to talk to Andrea right there. She's done it for years. She would be your greatest resource for that. 27, Resolution 13, 2023, appointment of a representative to Midway Sewer Authority Board. I make a motion to reappoint Rodney Kemmerer. I know I'm saying that wrong, but I get like, yeah, I make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 14, 2023, Chief Administrative Officer of Pensions. I make a motion to appoint Dawn Januso.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 15, 2023, non-uniform pension fund, 3% of the gross salary toward the non-uniform pension fund. It's the same as the previous year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
No, second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 16, 2023, police pension plan, 5% of their gross salary towards the police, police pension plan. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 17, 2023, vacancy board members. I make a motion that we reappoint Michelle Stonemark.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 18, 2023, establish dates for the Board of Supervisors monthly meetings. I make a motion that it's the first Monday of the month at 7 p.m.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 19, 2023, pay period every other Thursday for all full-time employees. The benefits will remain the same as in 2022, except where amended by contract. Administrative employees will contribute 1.5% of the gross pay towards their health care plan.
I'll make a motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2023, certified delegates to the State Association's convention to be held April 23rd through the 26th in Hershey, PA. I'd like to make a motion for Dawn Januso, although I'm going to try to attend this year as well, but I want Dawn to be there too.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 35, Resolution 21, 2023, select voting delegate for the state convention, Dawn Januso.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. We have to publicly announce all her votes now, right?
Well, I don't know if Jack had got any no votes that she wanted to.
Jack, were there any no votes from Darlene on any of them? Can you bring them to me, because we'll have to publicly announce them? Yeah. Okay. So she voted in opposition to 22, which was the zoning hearing board member, hold on. James Jones. She voted no, is that it? Oh, no to the representative, well, there was no vote on that one. So just this one? She voted no to Resolution 17, 2023, vacancy board member Michelle Stonemark. She voted no to the delegates to this, she voted no to Dawn Januso, to the delegate to the state convention, okay? And she voted no to Resolution 21, 2023, select voting delegate for the state convention, no. So she voted no on 31, 34, 35, and 22. Thank you. Carol, I'll keep that in case you need it. Okay. I'm gonna adjourn this, reorganization meeting, and we're gonna jump right into our regular monthly meeting. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. We don't need to salute the nation's flag, because we already did that. In attendance this evening are Supervisors Fisher, Aguizio, Cassiola, Fleer, and Barney. In addition, Township Manager Dawn Januso, Jack King, Assistant Township Manager and Director of Planning, Bill Bodorf, Director of Public Works, Fire Chief Noel McMillan, Engineer Dan Dizeroth of Gateway Engineers, and Township Solicitor Gretchen Moore. Before we jump into citizens' comments, I just want to call out the elephant in the room. I know over the past couple months, there's been all kinds of stuff over social media, in our inboxes, on the phone related to our change in garbage. We sent a letter from the Board of Supervisors that very clearly, or at least I felt like very clearly explained the process, which was that we really didn't have a choice. There were two bidders, Waste Management and County Hauling. I'm not going to walk through the whole pricing again because we've already done that once, but County Hauling was the lowest bidder. We are required by law to take the lowest responsible bidder. There was not enough information that day, or honestly to date, to disqualify. Hold on. Let me finish, and I will give everybody the opportunity to speak or ask questions. There was not enough information at the time to disqualify that bid, and quite frankly, I still don't feel that way. I don't think the other board members have either. We did have an issue with them that was not, I'm not laying blame, but was not quite their issue, with a mix-up of the names on the bills. County Hauling's fixing that. That was an issue at their printer. I have to give them credit. Every turn, they have stepped up. They have done what we've asked them to do. They've met me here on Christmas Eve, on New Year's Eve, to make corrections, to fix things, to pass things back and forth. They've answered every phone call we've had, every text messages that we've had. And I know we're only 2 days in, but so far, knock on wood, it's gone very smoothly. I'll be honest with you, I'm still dealing with waste management issues from Friday. They had an issue with their fueling station, and they didn't get to all the areas that they did. County stepped up, and even though they didn't have to, their Monday pickup were some of the people that were missed by waste management on Friday. All I did was send Christina, the vice president, the information on who was missed. She made sure that they had extra guys on the trucks and extra room in the trucks to pick up what she knew was going to be a larger load, not just from Christmas, but from Waste Management missing the pickup on Friday. Not patting ourselves on the back, but some huge shout outs to people in the township, including our Assistant Township Manager, Jack King, our board members here, and our public works guys who've done everything that they could. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Mark, who's tucked way back in the corner back there, for stepping up when we asked them to try to get the information out. We still don't have everybody's P.O. boxes, but we're working on that, and County Hauling is going to get new bills out to the people who have had incorrect information. I hope it continues, but please don't believe what you read on social media. I had people calling and saying, they said we could only have white bags. They said it was 5 bags. They said it was 10 bags. They said information. County Hauling doesn't care if you have a hot pink bag. They do require everything to be bagged, and that's for the safety of their drivers. Quite frankly, I said to a resident yesterday, I understand it, because, for example, Waste Management put out the day before Christmas, said with that big storm coming, put everything out. They don't require it to be bagged, so when garbage cans started blowing all over the township, guess what went with it? Garbage that wasn't in bags, and so there's still garbage throughout the township from that. County Hauling does require things to be in bags. They are also making an exception for the next month. We actually had so many people come down to the township to pick up recycling bins that we ran out. So I called Christina from County Hauling today, and I said, hey, can we make an exception on recycling being in recycling bags for the next month until we get bins in? Her response was absolutely. They have been over the top helpful over the past couple of months. So I'm just asking for you to give them the opportunity to either prove they can handle it or show that they can't. But right now, they have done what they've asked, up to and including, like, they had one house they missed pickup yesterday. They went back. Oh, 2, I'm sorry. 2 houses that they missed pickup in Muse, they went back. I wish I could tell you that would have been the case in the past, but that would not have been the case in the past that day. So please just cut them some slack, and a huge thank you to the board members who worked really the week of Christmas up to including Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day to try to make this run as smoothly as we can. We know it's a huge change for the residents, but hopefully it will be a good one. Any board members want to say anything? Okay. If you have I will open up questions about that since I just talked about it. You just have to speak into the microphone. Yeah, you can take it to him. Go ahead. Hold on one second.
All right, my name is Robert Feathers from Lower Southview.
You what? I'm sorry?
Robert Feathers
Oh, okay.
from Lower Southview.
Okay.
First of all, I was noticing that you're paying 30% for audit of the taxes. Why don't you give some of that percentage to the old people?
We don't,
Property tax.
we don't
bill?
pay 30% for the audit of our taxes.
Well, why don't you give a tax break to the old people on property tax? And also give a tax break to the veterans who saved this country for you.
Okay, hang on one second. So I'm opening questions right now about garbage. If you have a question about something that is not on the agenda, it has to wait until the end of
Okay,
the
I have
meeting.
about garbage.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, the people you hire don't even know who we are. We get a letter with the wrong name, wrong address, and then we get a letter that says residents.
Right.
How are they gonna pick our garbage up if they don't know who the hell we are?
So picking up your garbage doesn't require them to know you personally, first of all. But hold on. That was an error with their printing company. They were just as upset about it and are dealing with it privately with their printing company as we were. That was not an error on the township's part or County Hauling's part. When the way it works is they send a digital file to their printer. We did the same thing with our letter. And the letter then gets printed with the person's name on it. The printer messed that up. Regardless, it's
Okay,
being
now,
fixed. Hang on one
my
second.
next
The
question.
second letter came through as current resident because I spent Christmas Eve day driving to the post offices to pick up the letters to make sure they went back to County Hauling so we knew who didn't get the letters because most post offices won't deliver a letter with an incorrect name on it. So when we made a decision, County Hauling and the Board of Supervisors made a decision when the second information went out to have it just say current resident to make sure everybody knew what day their garbage pickup was. That was the most important thing.
Okay, the next thing I have is, I still have waste management on Southview, on Carlisle and Hill. Now, they go up Carlisle and get get Mount Pleasant side, they come right past my garage. Why can't I keep them as my collector?
Because you're in Cecil Township.
That is not right, because Chartiers Houston have a contract, but they can pick whatever carrier they want.
They can, and I actually I know quite a few people who live in Chartiers, Houston, because that was, I'll say intriguing to me.
But we can't do that.
You can't, but here's why. Here's why we think it's a benefit to you. Where you're paying $26.50 per month to County Hauling because we bid the entire.
Not really correct, because there's
Correct.
when they pick up the tin cans and all that stuff and bottle waste, they charge you another price.
No, it's separated on the bill. It's separated by garbage and recycling, but if you total the two, because I have my bill at home, it totals to be $26.50 per
Well, I
month.
can keep waste management then.
No,
No.
Why?
because you're in Cecil Township and we bid out the garbage.
That doesn't mean that I have to go with them.
That's exactly what that means.
No, it
Bob.
doesn't. Well, then how can Chartiers Houston let them?
I
pick
was just
their-
going to explain that. So Chartiers Houston does allow individual residents,
So
but
why
they.
can't me?
Okay, they allowed, over the past couple months, they put out to the residents that the township was gonna actually take over. The reason being is there's a savings when you're bidding out the garbage to everybody in the township versus individual residents. So whereas you pay $26.50 for County Hauling to pick up your garbage, I spoke to 4 different residents who live in Chartiers, Houston, and their bills ranged anywhere from $70 to $110 per
I've
month
talked to
for
people
garbage
there, too,
pickup.
and they're not that high. They're not that high.
I can give you, I'm not going to scream it out publicly, but I'm happy to give you the names privately of the people that I spoke to. The reason is, there's a savings when we bid it out to the township as a whole versus having to hire individual garbage haulers to come to your personal home. Not to mention, we would have people who wouldn't hire anyone, and then we would have garbage piling up.
Well, Waste
Bob,
Management
can I
wouldn't let it
explain
pile up.
Bob, can I explain something about that? In the 90s, the state had passed a law that the municipalities was mandatory for every household in the municipality to have pickup. Now, we had two choices, either to do it through township-wide bid, and then we'd be sure everybody is on it, or everybody could pick their own hauler, which would mean that we would then have to administer it to make sure everybody was with somebody. Like there used to be FedNets and Toward and all those other different companies. We'd have to monitor it every month to make sure everybody was on, being picked up from somebody.
Why would you have to monitor?
Because the law required that we were responsible to make sure every household had pickup.
We don't pay you for the garbage collection.
But we were
And it
responsible one
says
way or the
in-
other.
It says in
Boy,
the letter.
Can I ask that you keep asking questions and then you're not letting us answer the questions?
I
We're-
don't need a long spill answer. I don't need a 10-minute
Okay.
answer to my questions. Why can't I have them? That's what I ask.
We answered that question.
Okay. I have another question, but I can't think what the hell it is now. So I can't have my own carrier.
No.
We pay them. They will let you know if we don't pay the bill. Same way with.
They will
Waste
let you know.
Waste Management will let you know if we don't pay the bill.
They will let you know as the resident. They don't, I mean, if we ask them, I guess they would tell us,
Then
but
this new company doesn't come run to you and say, Bob didn't pay his bill.
no. That's,
How do you monitor it?
we don't monitor it, the company monitors it. Okay. Please make sure that you're getting the senior discount. There's a senior discount with county hauling. If
I
you,
got that,
okay.
but I'm talking about, do they give military discount?
I don't know. I don't
We
believe
saved
so.
the country for you people, and we get no recognition. Sorry, I was in Vietnam. I was in a bloody war, and I never got anything. All I ever got was a slap when I got off the plane. It's older than you are.
Yes, thank you for your service.
So why can't you give old age and military discounts on property taxes? I'm going to the school board and ask for the same thing.
Again, we're happy to answer garbage questions. If you want to talk about the taxes, we will address them at the end of the meeting. Do you have any additional questions related to the garbage?
You're going to give me a discount?
On garbage?
No,
On property taxes?
yeah.
We can't, but we will talk about it after the meeting.
Anybody else want the mic?
AC, can you just step to the podium when you talk? Thank you.
Hey, what's your name again, sir? What's your name?
Bob Feathers.
Bob Feathers, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
How are troublemakers? I do need this. So, very first thing I want to say to Cindy, to Frank, to all you guys that went the extra mile for the garbage stuff, you answered emails, you answered questions. I know for a fact Frank's been bombarded anytime he just goes to try to eat a sandwich down at the club or anything. Hey, garbage, garbage, garbage. 2 houses were skipped. They, within 20 minutes, 25 minutes of a phone call, they immediately came back, picked them up. There were 3 guys on the truck. I went out and talked to both the recycling guys, drivers, and the guys picking up. They said they don't care if it's in a box, like Cindy said, they just prefer it bagged. And I said, well, we have varmints, cats, raccoons. Sometimes they get in, they tear them up, and then we physically put them in. He says, we'll be able to tell that. But what they didn't want was just like putting soup cans and garbage slop down in an empty can. So got that. The one thing that I would ask is maybe can we get them a better map? Because both trucks one went the wrong way on Sycamore, because that one way down there is just hard to tell. And one went the other way on Sycamore. So I stopped them when they got down the alley. I said, there's like 3 streets in Muse that nobody puts their garbage out on. So there's no reason to waste your time and your fuel running down streets that do not have any cans.
So we did kind of do that, and we ran through it with the VP. She did ask, she's like, it's gonna take them a couple weeks to
Sure.
learn, but we're gonna have the same drivers over and over and over again, so just give them a month, and if you see them, like, remind them. I did talk to her about some of the alleys in Muse. I've talked to so many people, I can't remember who told me about them, but somebody had already explained that, and I had a conversation with her, so just, I appreciate everything you've done, just give them a little bit of grace over the next couple weeks while they learn.
Sure, and then I want to commend you for going the extra mile and posting to a couple of different Facebook pages. But I do agree, you know, there was some confusion with putting the residents, but like on our residents, they had us at our old address of 180. That hasn't been that way in, you know, a long time, but it is what it is. They still picked up our trash. They still answered our calls. And then the other issue is I've seen people saying, you know, we can't pay with a check. We can't pay this way. So I talked to Lori and Dana down at the new company, and they said that's not true. They will accept any form of payment. It just can't be late, and you can't prorate it, you know. And then that was my last question. What are we going to do with waste management? I'm one of 3 streets that I personally know of that got skipped 2 weeks. We got skipped on the recycling pickup by waste management, and we got skipped on that last Friday morning pickup.
So
And
quite
so
frankly,
what
I
do
don't.
we do? Do we prorate our final bill? Do we call the bank and say, hey, we're not going to just pay them in full and let them sue us as a township, since it is a township contract? How does that work?
So quite frankly, I don't know that there's anything we can do. They had an issue with their fueling station on Friday. They did notify us. They told us the streets. The issue was, if we had been continuing with our waste management contract, they were coming back on Monday and into Tuesday to pick up stuff. The problem was, we were having county hauling start Monday. So waste management did come back into the township to pick up the streets outside of the county's new area on Monday that they were gonna pick up, but it was a choice by us. We didn't want county hauling and waste management
Competing for
in the
the
same area. So that's where I went to county hauling. I said to waste management, do everything except for these streets, because county hauling is gonna pick those up on Monday. And I went to county hauling, well, actually I went to county hauling first, and I said, what do you want me to do? And she said, we will take care of it, we will make sure we have enough room, we will handle it. That's why I said they've been great. And I went to waste management and said, take these ones off, I know you missed them on Friday, but we didn't want county hauling and waste management in the same area. I felt like that would be an absolute cluster.
Right. Well, so just from our point of view, we were wondering as citizens, there's several of us wondering, well, what do we do? Because we didn't get two rounds of service. That's half of our service for that month, technically, you know?
You can call and ask waste management, but that was a choice. They were of the township.
Okay, so
They
that's
were
what I'm
willing
saying.
to
We
do
don't
it.
have a leg to stand on if you guys said, hey, don't want you competing. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last thing on the garbage is, I want to say commend the new company. I've replaced garbage can lids, bags, bins, they tear stuff up. These guys put our cans back in the retaining area. They were clean. None of our lids went flying. I wish I could have said something bad just to give a lot of people that don't show up for these meetings a leg to stand on. You know, because I'll play devil's advocate. Frank, you know that. So it's just like, I couldn't find anything. They picked up mattresses. They returned when they didn't get a service or missed a service. But it is all new, and I'm just asking all of us, online, wherever, give them a chance to mess up. But right now, they're trying to do the best they can. It's new to them. It's a new town.
Hold on. Nope. We're not asking resident questions.
Anybody can ask me a
Well,
question.
after the meeting, but not
Roger
during
that, but-
not during our business meeting. Not during our business meeting. If you want to turn, you can come back up.
We get to other things, I'll be back up.
Okay.
But thank you, every one of you guys. But
One
you-
more thing, and then we'll move on from
I
garbage.
cannot say enough good things about your guys' help, both online, on the phones.
Thank you. To her point, hold on. Nope. Excuse me. excuse me. Yeah, not now. I want to say one more thing. Quickly. I know there's a lot of misinformation on. I know there is not a board member here who doesn't respond to emails, phone calls, Facebook messengers. Please call the township and ask, call one of us and ask. Please, please, please do not believe everything that you see on social media. Like, the amount of time that I've had to spend over the past 2 months, specifically the past few weeks, correcting misinformation on social media has been like astronomical. So please just call the township. Here at the township, they have the right answers. Call one of us. Send one of us a Facebook Messenger. I respond to them all. Yeah, come to the meetings, like, do whatever, but please, if you see something crazy on social media, please don't immediately just believe everything that's out there, because it's just not always true. Sometimes it's true, but it's not usually true. All right, moving on. So now comments will be taken at this time for any item to be voted on by the board that appears on the agenda. General township comments or questions will be addressed after the Board of Supervisors discussion of old business. Please step to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. If you have something that you want to speak about that's on the agenda, if not, we're going to move on. Okay. On the what?
On the completion payment, I think that's 23-20.
Yeah, you can come back up and ask AC, sorry.
No. Yeah, it's number one. Huh? It's a-
So on this, make sure I'm saying this one right, 23-23, early site package project amount for Stewart Contracting. Stewart Contracting, now that was the second guys that came out and sprayed the tar-looking stuff on the cracks. Is that who these people are, Frank?
No.
Okay.
That's for our Public Works building. That's for our new Public Works building.
Oh, okay, so then, or, can we talk about those guys, or?
Yes, but when we get to the general.
That's not
comment-
this one.
It's not an agenda item. So when we get
Ooh.
to the end, you can come back up. If you want to save yourself a trip, you can sit right there, because I feel like we're going to fly through these pretty quick. And then we'll get to you about the tar guys. I know. I know, but it wasn't Stewart either. Yeah, no, we'll talk about it. Okay, there are no discussion items. Moving on to resolution 22-2023. Consider adopting the 2023 Cecil Township Comprehensive Plan. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
4-1. 23-2023, consider application for payment number 10 for the work completed to date for the Cecil Township Public Works Facility Early Site Package Project in the amount of $202,236.95 by Stewart Contracting.
Yeah, this is for work in progress. If the board recalls, we took work from the general contractor and we put it into Stewart's contract, added it onto theirs at a savings to the township. This is for payment of that work. They're nearing completion. We're still holding retainage. So I do recommend payment in the amount of $202,236.95.
Do I have a motion?
Don't make a motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 24-2023, consider application for payment number 2 for the work completed to date for the Hahn Road Bridge Rehabilitation Project in the amount of $25,650 by Thornberry, Inc.
This is the second payment to them. There will be one more payment. We're still holding retainage until we get their maintenance bond, but all of the physical work at the site is complete, and they did a good job. We didn't have to use one of the items, so actually the contract came in at less than it was bid, which doesn't happen too often, so we're pleased with that. So we recommend payment in the amount of $25,650 to Thornberry.
I'll make a motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Yes, 5-0. 25-2023, consider the minutes from the Monday, December 5th, 2022 Cecil Township Board of Supervisors regular monthly meeting. Second, moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. 26-2023, consider the general fund invoices from December 1st through December 31st, 2022.
So
Make a
moved.
motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. You guys are in sync today. Passes 5-0. Okay. Now is your turn. So now citizens' general comments and questions. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I lied. I'm sorry. Good catch, thank you. So there is one agenda item that did not make it on the agenda for the 24-hour notice, so I need to ask to have it added. This would be 27-2023. It's for the laborers position to appoint Michael Powell. He's a resident of Muse. First, you need to vote to add it to the agenda, open it up for citizens' comments, and then we'll actually vote on it. So all those in favor of adding it to the agenda? Yes?
Aye. Aye.
Yes, okay. Anybody have a comment on this? This was the open position that we advertised in what, December? December. Okay. So, and is there a motion to appoint Michael Powell for the laborer's position?
So moved.
Is there, at the contracted rate? Yeah, he's a union employee. Per the union contract. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. Okay, now you get your day, AC. Citizens' general comments and questions.
Okay, so, sorry, I was thinking that other one was the company. So, 2 questions in regards to the guys that did that last bit of work.
That's Amity Paving.
Amity Paving. So, out in front where we had that issue with the fire hydrant, they sprayed every area except that went up to the Lemon's house and which came down. Everything else got sprayed. Those cracks are widening with this last little bit of snow and now with this rain. So could I request somebody to come out either through them while we still have this little bit of good weather and have them at least do what they did to the other part of it, but they stopped. They sprayed like just the square, but the rest of it that's split off due to the work they've done is now opening back up. And if we can do at least the minimum that they're doing with the rest of the... Thank you. And then also up at Mr. Lemon's quarter, when they replaced the concrete there, when they were doing the pipes, they were taking turns when they split off that section in front of our fire hydrant of taking the auger or the hammer drill bit and the shovel, and they were bouncing it and just offloading it off of that piece of equipment right there on the corner of that newly done sidewalk. They split the whole corner of that new pour doing that. So if we could have somebody come out, take a look at those 2 issues. I know they're not huge, but the way that this works, it's just going to get bigger, where we're at. So we'd appreciate somebody just to come out and have them do the minimum or whatever has to be done for that. Thank you, Bill. Also, so, regardless of what goes on online, I was commissioned to kind of take a look because there may be a neighbor that may need help. But in doing so, up on Mr. Falco's property, I had to do a little investigation. Up behind PJ's house and Linda's house, Frank, isn't that Mr. Falco's property up there? Falcone's?
What street will we be talking?
I believe, I looked at that, it started with an M. It's the alley back there, in between
That would be Mulberry Way.
Mulberry Way. Somebody in red dump trucks has been coming up there, and they have a pretty good slag concrete pile going up there. So at first, I thought it was from them pulling off our sidewalks. Well, further investigation, that was bid out through John Yago, and they took all of that company, Hofnagel, they took all of that stuff that they busted up from our concrete, per my understanding, to Yago's farm. And that was their dump site. but somebody has been going up and dumping. There's a pretty good pile up there that needs to be looked at. I don't know whose company, but they have red dump trucks.
We can have our code enforcement guys and Bill look at it. So we know
I just
generally-
wanted to make sure it wasn't something that we as a township, like Johnny's got overran, and the township or Mr. Falcone gave permission for any overage to go over there.
I don't know off the
Okay.
top of our head. I don't think anybody knows right now, but we can look into it. And then
Perfect.
we have all your contact information. Somebody will let you know.
Okay, perfect, but it's just, we're trying to better our community and take some of the blight off and take some of the, if we can help each other, but I just wanted to make sure before the rumors started, oh no, Mr. Falcone gave permission for all that, or that's his company, that's his land, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can find out. I don't think anybody wants to say one way or the other, but we will look into it and we appreciate.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, I just wanted to make sure it's not something that was discussed at like one of the private meetings or whatever. And then, can I ask something that's not pertaining to the concrete?
Now it's,
Okay, so then the other thing is, I'm running into some roadblocks. Last 2 meetings ago, because I missed the other one, I was working on my hill. We talked about Coomer Road, even though it's never gonna be opened again. The trees that are laid across the telco lines. I'm struggling with Verizon or AT&T because they say, well, I need an address or a property owner. Who owns that little stretch of ground? Is that a township property? Or, because I'm struggling with them to get the information to create a work order because they don't consider me as a citizen as being able to request a work order. So I'm just asking for help from you guys to
Trees that
determine
are laying on those lines on
who,
Coomer Road.
even though Coomer Road, as you made it quite clear, is never gonna be used again. It has to do with safety, it has to do, we pay a lot in Comcast. I've talked to several neighbors. When it gets to blowing, if that is a Verizon or Comcast line, that could be part of our issues. So if we can just have some help with me figuring out, but I'm getting nowhere getting on the phone with them because I don't have a physical address for them to type into their computer. I don't own the property. I'm not a township supervisor to request a work order.
They don't
So-
listen very well
They
to us
don't
either.
care.
Yeah, they don't care. We have asked.
a tree laying on a communication line over Lawrence on Church Street.
Okay, well, they may not care, but we as citizens do. And let me tell you, citizens have more power than you think. So if I can find out, get any help from you who owns this line, then that gives me somebody to start a campaign against.
Fine.
Because I do believe in power of the people, and one person can make a difference.
Hold on, Dan, go ahead. Thank you.
According to the township GIS map, the strip of land that's located in that area in the vicinity of Coomer Road, where we have the road closed off, is owned by Ken Heinrich.
I left my pencil when you told me. to
I'll
put it down.
copy the
Perfect.
information down and give it to you after the meeting.
Yeah, because, thank you. What was his last name?
Heinrich,
Can you spell that?
Heinrich.
Hirent.
E-N-T?
I'll spell it for you. I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Don't leave without
But it was just, I'm trying to do something to make it a little better, because one, that's blight, two, it's a safety issue. I saw 2 or 3 people, younger kids, walking that away, cutting across because of the new road. God forbid one of those trees fall on somebody. You go to Maui, if a coconut falls off a tree and hits a kid, whose ever tree that is responsible. So if we can do something as a community to make it better, to make it safer, to make it not look so run down.
But AC, you learn something new every day. I did not know that.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not about being a thorn in anybody's side, and it's not about requiring you guys, but I just thought as a township, if this little bit of stretch of road in between, what is that, Muse Bishop there, and the Coomer Road downslot,
Yeah.
it's that strip, so I just want to
We
make
know
sure
what
that
you
you,
mean.
sir,
We've
that-
seen it.
That's the area, correct, sir?
Yeah.
Not on
Yes.
the other side of the road.
I'm familiar with
Okay,
it.
but
The
in
issue
between the
is,
two.
AC, like, we've tried too, and they won't listen to us. Maybe if it's us and you, maybe
I'm a
we'll.
little more tenacious, and I don't have a problem sitting on hold I can do 3 other projects while on hold. You know me, I don't care.
Sounds good to me.
So good, so thank you on that. And then, I asked that question. Oh, and this, in the midst of all of this craziness online, I've had several elderly musicians and a couple of people in McDonald's call and text me, and I didn't have one of them say that they got bad service. I had 3 of them say they love Waste Management service, the guys, but they had nothing bad to say about them. So if you can win over old musicians with the garbage, man, I don't know, man, you got it. But thank you
We're
guys again.
trying.
Thank
We are
you guys
trying.
again very much, and good job. But yeah, any help with that issue or who owns that land would be awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Does he want to say something? Go ahead.
I just have a simple question. The Waste Management, I pay them a couple of bucks with my bill, and they come up my road, up my driveway, pick up my garbage can, take it down, take it back up to where I had it. Will they do that?
Yeah, you just have to let them know. If you don't want to call them, if you don't leave without giving me your name and address, we can let them know.
But I am a veteran and I'm also disabled.
Yeah, they will do that. It's called, what's it called, porch pickup or? Yeah, at your door service.
Do you know
Thank
what they charge?
I don't off the top of my head, but we can find out. I know what Waste Management used to charge, but we can get you that.
All I had.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? Any other board members? Okay, this meeting, board members, I need you for an executive session, don't leave, but residents, you don't have to.
I have something. I think we need to look into getting a new message board.
I can't hear you. We are working on that. Jack is working on that. The message board fixed. We should have quotes for next month. We have 2 right now.
I'll get the 3rd one this week.
Yeah, we are actively working on that, though. Yes. Go ahead. Jack, can you give her the microphone?
I just have a trash question. I heard somebody say about getting recycling bins. Can we use the recycling bins we already have, or do
Yeah.
they want their own?
Yeah, no, you can use the ones you have, but when we put out on social media that we had them at the township, I guess some people didn't realize that and needed replacements. So you can, we don't have any right now. In the next couple weeks, you can come down here. We just keep them, Teresa hands them out of the front desk. But if you have them, use what you have. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to say something? Hold on, one more.
Kenny Strain, Sir James Drive. Is there any news on North DePauli Road? Sin. Is there any news on North DePauli Road?
North DePauli. Dan.
Sure. So we've reported a couple things. Number one, we put in a grant application for our storm sewer last month on the project. We're working on one driveway, trying to get that worked out. There's a utility pole issue that Bill and I are working on. So we're trying to get those things wrapped up that we could get, a paving project done here, as early as possible and then, as soon as the plants open up. So we're working on
All right.
those.
Well,
those
thank you.
details.
I know you guys are going back and forth with the one homeowner there, trying to get that issue resolved. I was hoping that you got that squared away, but sounds like, so hopefully something in the spring is going to happen there.
As soon as we're able to get it, we have to get it put up.
Well, I know that storm sewer is a big issue. I know that has to be
Yeah.
resolved.
So
All
if that's funded, that's a big deal.
All right. Well, thank you for all your efforts.
Meet with in October or November. When did we meet with the driveway owner? Yeah, we're working on it. It's a slow process. So, okay.
Cody Campbell, 186 Locust. I had a question pertaining to the trash. So my mother-in-law, she called, and they quoted her 5 bags, so there's no limit for bags at
There's
all?
a
or-
10-bag limit,
Okay,
but they're not counting bags. So unless you're putting a whole yard full of garbage out, like, they're not gonna say, oh, you have 11 bags, we're not taking your 11th bag.
okay.
And 10 bags of garbage is quite a bit.
All right. And the last time I was here, you guys have talked about the Pittsburgh wildlife, Zach. I was wondering if I could get like a count of maybe how many animals he's caught in.
Yeah, if you give me 1 second, I can actually tell you. So these come in individually, so I'm gonna have to like start back from the beginning, and then, like, it's not gonna be, just bear with me for a second. So, the 1 week, he caught 3 raccoons and 3 skunks. The following week, he caught 3 more raccoons, a skunk, and there was a report of a skunk in a grate on Muse Bishop, a skunk family. I guess he took care of that. He had additional traps at 24 Birch and 52 Sycamore. He had to go back to the grate and got the more skunks out of the grate on Muse Bishop. And then he caught, over this past weekend, 2 skunks and 2 raccoons. So he sends a weekly text with the update of what he's caught, and then we just communicate a couple of times on social media on that Muse resident page. I saw somebody say, I'd like to have a trap, because I have a problem here, and he's been responsive and gone out and did what we asked so far.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the requests was, since you're coming out, the alleyway, which is, what's our alleyway, Frank? Birch Way? So at the beginning of Birch Way, down by the fire hall, and at the end toward my house, there's 2 storm drains that kind of sink lower than all the rest of them. And therefore, like, everything, especially with a little bit of rain, everything kind of goes down. I've manually gone and cleaned out, cut back brush across mine, do it a couple times a year, which I wish you guys would do more often. And I even went down to the one down at the end of the street, and there were some garbage bags and things from the raccoons and things getting into the garbage that I picked up. But inside of the drain, there's an immense amount of mud, dirt, kind of sediment. Is there any way we can get somebody out there to, I'm not physically gonna be able to pick up that grade, and I wouldn't have any other than a shovel like playing in a sand puddle. But I think you guys actually have a tool or a piece of equipment.
Cleaning the sprinkler basins up. There's one at the end of Sycamore,
Right, that's us.
the Birch right there.
Yep.
There's a double drain, it's a little hand-built, box. We plan on replacing that box and doing an upgrade right there before the utilities get in paid next year.
So wait a minute, you're talking about down at Angela's and in between the Little Red Church, or are you talking about at the staircases?
We have some drainage work that has to be done over reviews. We've been putting it off until the utility companies go out of it.
Right.
We come over with our drainage crew. We'll address all of those little boxes that we cleaned out, and we'll go over and pull the grate off that and shovel it out.
Perfect.
Right now.
I mean, I tried to do the best I could, but yeah.
We told you to do that, we'll do that. Just call down the township, give it to our receptionist, and she'll pass it on to me. We'll be out.
If I talk to Teresa much more, I'm gonna have to take her to lunch. That girl hears from me a lot. Thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. Anybody else? This meeting is adjourned. I need you for an executive session, don't leave.
All right, so I thought they met with them, they were supposed to give them back the revision, and they had to give us an answer. I think we presented them with the revision. Yeah.
How would you identify that? Like if the utilities were to, because that's the thing, I don't have an address.
There's an address right there. It has an address.
Okay, and do we know whose lines are? I don't get anywhere
Well, typically the poles say whose ownership is on the pole. The person that owns the pole controls everything. No. So the utility companies.
I'm gonna
are
get you in there, okay?
The utility companies are there with.
Happy holidays.